It was a dark and stormy night on October 26, 2023, when I stumbled upon a collection of riddles, each more sinister than the last. As the clock ticked closer to midnight, I found myself drawn deeper into a web of enigma and dread. I discovered these riddles within an ancient, forgotten tome in the dusty corner of a hidden library, and they beckoned me with a malevolent allure. The questions seemed innocent enough at first, but their answers concealed the darkest of secrets. The first riddle that caught my eye read, "I whisper in the dark, and my touch sends shivers down your spine. What am I?" The answer seemed straightforward, fear. But as I pondered it, a chill ran down my own spine. Was there something more to this riddle, something lurking in the shadows, feeding on our deepest fears? As I turned the page, the clock struck 1:30 a.m., and I encountered another enigma. "I am always with you, yet you can never see me. What am I?" The answer was time itself, a concept we all know. But in this dark, ominous hour, time felt like a malevolent force, slipping through our fingers, a constant reminder of our own mortality. The riddles grew more sinister with each page I turned, their subtle psychological tricks weaving a sinister tapestry. At 2:30 a.m., I read, "I am what keeps you tethered to the mortal world. What am I?" The answer was our shadow, but in that moment, the darkness cast by my own silhouette on the wall felt like an entity, a presence that refused to be ignored. A shiver ran down my spine as I contemplated the next riddle, its implications sinking in. "I am the mirror that reflects your true self. What am I?" The answer was the mirror, but the reflection in the glass now seemed to hold a malicious secret, as if it could reveal more than just one's physical appearance. The clock, still moving forward, read 3:30 a.m. At 4:30 a.m., a riddle posed a question that made my heart race. "I am what you fear the most, lurking just out of sight. What am I?" The answer was the unknown, but in the dead of night, the unknown felt like a relentless predator, ready to pounce when our guard was down. With each riddle I encountered, the air grew heavier, the room colder, and my own fear more palpable. The time was now 5:30 a.m., and I could feel the dread closing in as I turned another page. "I am the whispered secrets that haunt your dreams. What am I?" The answer was the past, but the past now felt like a ghostly presence, haunting the corners of our minds. At 6:30 a.m., as the first rays of dawn broke through the window, I encountered a riddle that sent a shiver down my spine. "I am the darkness within you, waiting to be set free. What am I?" The answer was our own demons, our inner darkness. But in the early morning light, it felt like our own inner monsters were crawling out of the shadows. The clock struck 7:30 a.m., and I realized that I had ventured too deep into this malevolent tome. The riddles had cast a spell, ensnaring my thoughts with their subtle, insidious power. As I turned the final page, a riddle emerged that would forever haunt my nightmares. "I am the final question you will ever answer, the one that seals your fate. What am I?" The answer, dear listeners, was death. And as I read that answer, a cold hand seemed to brush against my shoulder, and a whisper echoed in the room, "Till death do us part." The room, once dimly lit, now plunged into an unsettling gloom, as though a shroud of darkness had descended upon it. The echo of the ominous whisper still lingered in the air, sending a chill down my spine. I was not alone. A presence, cold and malevolent, encircled me. As the clock displayed 9:30 a.m., a profound sense of dread settled in. The very air grew heavier, as if weighted by the realization that these riddles were not just words on a page, but a doorway to an unspeakable horror. A flickering, faint light appeared in the distance, and with each passing second, it drew closer, revealing a sinister figure, a shadowy silhouette draped in tattered garments. I watched in terror as the figure drew nearer, the only discernible feature being its eyes, which gleamed like blood-red coals. The room seemed to pulse with a malevolent energy, and the air grew icy. The figure hissed, "You have answered the final riddle, and now you must face the consequences." With every fiber of my being screaming for escape, I stumbled back, but it was as if I had been rooted to the spot. The clock continued to tick, the relentless sound growing louder, marking the passage of time in a realm that defied all understanding. As the figure approached, its voice became a haunting whisper, "I am the embodiment of death, the harbinger of the unknown. You have summoned me with your answers, and now you must face your fate." 1,000 questions raced through my mind, but I could not find the words to speak. The figure reached out with a bony hand, its fingers like talons, and as it touched me, an overwhelming sense of despair and inevitability washed over me. I realized that I had delved too deeply into the mysteries of the riddles, and now, I had become a part of their sinister narrative. With a sudden, violent jolt, the room transformed, the walls vanishing into an inky void, and the floor beneath me dropped away. I was falling, plummeting into an abyss of shadows and uncertainty, and the clock, now forever at 10:30 a.m., was the only constant in this ever-changing nightmare. In this dark expanse, I had no sense of time or direction, only an overwhelming feeling of helplessness. The sinister figure remained beside me, its presence a constant reminder of the fate that had befallen me. The figure's whispers echoed through the abyss, each word a dagger to my soul. You have ventured into the realm of riddles, where answers carry a heavy price. You have embraced the unknown, and now, you are lost in the enigma of your own existence. At 11:30 a.m., the abyss shifted and twisted, revealing glimpses of my past, my fears, and my regrets. The answers to the riddles I had unraveled had become the threads that wove this nightmarish tapestry. I watched as my own life played out before me, but it was a distorted, grotesque version of reality, filled with anguish and despair. The figure continued to whisper, "You have uncovered the darkest corners of your own soul, and now, you must confront the shadows that lurk within." I tried to speak, to question the figure, but my voice was drowned out by the cacophony of my own fears. The abyss expanded, and I found myself standing before a colossal mirror, its surface reflecting my own reflection, but this reflection was different, twisted, distorted, a grotesque caricature of who I was. The figure spoke again, "I am the mirror that reveals your true self, the self you have denied. Look upon it, for it is the key to your salvation." With a trembling heart, I gazed into the mirror. I saw my own reflection, but it was not me. It was a version of myself, consumed by fear, regret, and despair. I saw the mistakes I had made, the pain I had caused, and the darkness that had always lurked within. The clock, now at 12:30 p.m., seemed to mock me, a reminder of the relentless passage of time. The figure whispered, "You have faced your own demons, and now, you must choose. Embrace your true self, or be forever lost in this abyss." I hesitated, torn between the path of redemption and the eternal darkness that beckoned. The whispers grew louder, more insistent, urging me to make a choice, to confront the shadows within. At 1:30 p.m., I made my decision. I turned away from the distorted reflection and faced the figure, my voice quivering but resolute. I will not be consumed by the darkness within. I will embrace my true self, and I will confront my fears. As I spoke those words, the abyss began to crumble, the shadows dissipating like smoke in the wind. The clock, now reading 2:30 p.m., seemed to affirm my choice. The figure, its malevolent presence fading, nodded in approval. With each passing moment, the abyss continued to fade, and I found myself back in the room where I had first discovered the sinister riddles. The storm had subsided, and the sun's warm rays streamed through the window, casting a comforting light. I realized that I had returned from the abyss, but the memory of that harrowing journey would forever haunt my thoughts. The clock, forever marking the passage of time, now read 3:30 p.m., and I understood that the riddles had been a doorway to the darkest corners of my own psyche, a reflection of the fears and regrets that dwell within us all. As I closed the ancient tome and left the room, I knew that the riddles would forever remain a mystery, their answers concealed in the depths of the human soul. And the knowledge that the enigma of our own existence is the greatest riddle of all left me in a state of eerie shock.